What we have here is a search term report. Now, this brand is only spending a total of roughly £375. But what we were able to find in 2 minutes completely changed their entire marketing strategy. The first thing we found was that 75% of their sales were coming from branded terms. Why this matters? Amazon will naturally prioritize branded sales to the brand. So therefore, you can actually drastically reduce your ad spend to branded terms. You could even argue that you would get the sale anyway. But 75% of sales actually skews the data, and from a higher level makes it look like the ads are performing better than they actually are. Now, this is where it gets interesting. What you can see here is we have vegan razors. It only has one impression, it has one click and one sale, but the ROAS is 12.93. Now, if you input that into any third-party tools, they'll actually say that there's no search volume at all. So we did question, where did this come from? But obviously, it wasn't until we jumped on the call with the founder that there was additional insights where they actually were pushing this as a term in their messaging, in their meta ads. So actually, their ads performing better than they thought. Somebody obviously saw the ad, they then maybe went to the website or maybe directly to Amazon, and then they decided to input vegan razors into the search box. But that's the term, vegan razors, is the term that consumer actually remembered. So this is so important because this data in the search term report we can actually use to build out the messaging and the different angles within the actual creative of external ad platforms such as Meta or Google Ads. This one's really interesting as well, and actually was picked up again by the client. One blade razor for women. Now again, very similar. It's just got the one order, ROAS of 2.97. But actually, when you put this data into, or should say this term into third-party tools, you will see that there are some variations of this term, and they do have a low search volume on Amazon. So what we can do with this data is that we can actually now decide that we should double down on that. And I think that is potentially a low-hanging fruit. And this is what I was saying to the client, is that it's the very specific terms that you find in data like this that is so important, because it's so specific that to the product that somebody will have a much higher likelihood of buying the product as a result. Now, do you know what's really interesting about all these terms? So these terms on the screen here, these are all unique. So what we mean by unique is that these are terms that we're not targeting in the ads already. And yet they have generated orders. Now let's exclude obviously the branded terms. But it's the non-branded terms that we're not targeting in the ads that have generated orders at profitable ROAS numbers that we really should be doubling down on in the ads. We can take those search terms, we can put them in the ads, and we can spend more on them, knowing that we have data that tells us they're going to be profitable. And this is only £272 in spend. Imagine 10x that, imagine 100x that. We work with clients that spend 10x this amount in a day. So obviously, if a search term converts without even trying, imagine what happens when you actually optimize it. So this report is crucial for 3 reasons. Number one is that it shows you what's working in your external marketing, such as the vegan razors or the one blade razor women in this example. Number two is it reveals the keywords, or actually the search terms, that should be targeted as keywords in your Amazon ads. And then number 3 is that this data isn't just data from people that are browsing. This is data from users with a buying intent. So it's worth noting, obviously, that compared to the likes of, say, Google, where you can also get kind of search term data, but actually that data can be skewed in that the user is actually searching for information. It's more of an informational intent, or maybe as they call it, navigational intent, where really they're just looking to browse and compare, versus somebody that comes to Amazon and they have a very, very high chance of buying because they have that buying intent. So this is why this data is just so powerful, and it's so important to use the search term report. You can use it For optimizing external marketing messaging, you can use it to optimize your product listings on the website or Amazon listings, and you can even use it for product development as well. So what I've shown you today is the gold mine that is the Amazon search term report, but we were just scratching the surface. So if you'd like to learn more about turning the insights into growth for your brand, then feel free to schedule a call in the calendar below this video. Otherwise, enjoy the insights, and I'm sure they will help to grow your brand.